Your car shifts roughly, it stalls out, or flashes random warnings and the mechanic's already quoting hundreds of dollars to replace the parts. Yo, don't fall for it. These are simple system glitches, and today we're exposing the reset trick mechanics hate you knowing about. Let's start with the electronic control unit, better known as the ECU. Have you ever experienced that feeling when your car just doesn't feel right? It might be a sluggish throttle, weird idling, or that dreaded check engine light that just ruins your freaking day. The good news is that most of the time it's just your ECU that's confused. Think of it as a phone with too many apps running at the same time. It's definitely bound to start acting weird and might not start doing what it's supposed to do until you reboot it. So, how do you go about doing that? Well, you just need to perform an ECU hard reset. To do this, disconnect the battery and ensure you start with a negative terminal while doing so. Then, drain the leftover charge by touching the cables together for a few seconds. You need to wait for about 20 minutes before reconnecting the battery. Now, the next step is to let the car idle for about 5 minutes and you're good to know. Knowing this might save you tens or even hundreds of dollars that a mechanic might have charged you the next time your ECU misbehaves. Let's move on to the idle air control reset. Now, if your car starts shaking when put to idle, has those really weird surprise stalls, or has erratic RPMs, it's more likely that it's your idle air control that just needs a little bit of a reset. You might have noticed that this mostly happens after a battery change, and there's a reason behind that. It's because your ECU has forgotten its idle setting and can't decide how much air to let in. Now, the fix here is super easy. You just need to start the car, let it warm up until the temperature sits in the middle, and just let it idle without putting your foot on the gas. It should stay that way for about 5 minutes, and after that, turn on the headlights and the AC just to add a little bit of load to the ECU. Now this way, the ECU will pick up and will now perform optimally when it comes to idle air control. Oh, and then there's that dreaded check engine light that tends to come on when least expected. At times, it's triggered by minor hiccups like a slight misfire caused by moisture on an ignition coil, or a temporary oxygen sensor voltage drop when the system runs too lean for half a second. Simply put, your engine's not failing, it's just that the ECU has overreacted to bad data. To deal with that, just purchase an OBD2 scanner for like 20 bucks. Then, plug that baby in under the dash and turn on the ignition, but don't start the car. Now, once that's done, the scanner should also power on. Your next step is to press read codes and then clear them, and after that, the light should go off. There's also moments when your car feels lazy when accelerating, and 95% of the time, it's your throttle position sensor that's malfunctioned. This leads to your car losing synchronization between your foot and the throttle body. The thing is, most cars today use electric throttles instead of cables, so when they lose calibration, the pedal and the engine stop speaking the same language. Great news is, you don't have to dig deep into your wallet to fix this. Turn your ignition on, don't start the engine. Then press the gas all the way down, hold for 5 seconds, and then release the pedal slowly. Repeat this process twice, and then start the car and let it idle for about a minute. This process retrains the system to comprehend the full pedal range again, and you're good to go. Now, in the same light, if your car suddenly starts to guzzle fuel more than usual, or tends to have that jerky acceleration or just feels a little sluggish, your mass airflow sensor likely has a problem that you can fix yourself without visiting the mechanic. Here, you just need to unplug the sensor for a few minutes, then plug it back in and let the car idle for about 10 minutes. This will help to recalibrate the sensor and save you the hassle of having to spend hundreds of dollars replacing it. Which, in most cases, is just the mechanic doing the exact same thing you would do anyway, and charging you for parts that are never purchased. Now, if you're finding these tips useful, make sure to hit that subscribe button, as we've got more insider info coming your way that's going to make your car ownership journey a lot cheaper and far more enjoyable. Let's shift focus to the transmission shift reset. Now, you may have experienced situations where your car jerks between gears or it hesitates to shift into the next gear, like it feels as though it's loading before shifting. Now, chances are that you may have visited your mechanic because you thought your transmission system was going out. But in a lot of cases, it's just the transmission control module that's having a memory glitch. See, over time, the transmission control module learns your driving style and aligns itself to that style. But it can also get confused after a battery change or a fluid flush. To reset it, all you gotta do is turn on the ignition, but not the engine. Next, press the gas pedal all the way to the floor for about 10 to 15 seconds, then release the pedal and turn off the ignition. Start the car again and then drive gently for about 10 to 20 minutes. Now this will allow the control module an opportunity to relearn your driving behavior, and the car should no longer feel as though it's thinking before shifting. Another dreaded light that you'll be surprised to learn that you can reset is that of the ABS. Now, more than 50% of the time, this little light comes on usually due to a dirty or confused wheel sensor. So before you book an appointment with your mechanic, you gotta do the basics, including checking the brake fluid level, cleaning the sensor area, and then setting on to reset the system. Now, one of the ways to reset is by using the OBD2 scanner that we talked about earlier, clearing the codes. Now, if you don't got a scanner, you can disconnect the battery for about 15 to 20 minutes, then reconnect it and go for a short drive. That light should stay off, saving you hundreds of bucks in repairs that you could have done yourself with a reset. Alright, next we got the tire pressure monitoring system reset. Now, every driver has experienced a situation where the tire pressure warning pops up during cold weather or after they've had a tire change. Rather than spending money in a shop, you can solve the issue in a few simple steps. First up, inflate the tires to the correct PSI stated in your owner's manual based on the time of year and the season. Next, turn on the ignition, but not the engine. Now, you can press the TPMS reset button that's usually under the dashboard until the light blinks. You can then drive for a couple miles at a moderate speed to give the sensor some time to calibrate. A lot of modern vehicles also have the ability to do that through your vehicle's infotainment system, so just check your manual for instructions. Alright, another light that can be reset with a simple process is that of blind spot monitoring. Now, it's a useful system, but it can also get super frustrating whenever it starts blinking erratically, especially when there's nothing to even see in your mirror. The thing is, things like road grime or faulty sensor wiring can confuse it. So to reset it, park your vehicle, turn the ignition on, but not the engine. Locate the blind spot system reset control button on your dashboard and hold that sucker for 10 to 15 seconds until you start to see some confirmation. Then lock it in, drive about 20 miles per hour for some time to give the sensors some time to check themselves and work out any bugs or glitches. Another thing you can do is you can also try to clean the sensor housing on the bumper to get rid of any extra dirt or grime or buildup or gunk that might be confusing the sensor. Or just do what I do and take your car to the car wash. You'd really be surprised at how many errors and issues can be solved by just giving that puppy a good old thorough deep clean. The great thing is, once you learn how to handle all these resets yourself, you're going to be guaranteed fewer shop visits and way more money in your pocket.